Hello there, I'm your host, Lee Blickley from HuffPost, and welcome to Built Series. It's only October, sure, but the holiday season is upon us, which of course means it's Christmas movie time. Everybody excited for some Christmas movies? Yes. And now today we have Laura Marano and Gregg Sulkin here to discuss their new film, A Cinderella Story Christmas Wish, which pulls inspiration from the classic fairy tale and gives it a modern musical twist. Let's take a look at a clip.
Once upon a time, there was a girl who loved Christmas.
Grab my balls! Cat, quit daydreaming and do something.
Take these. And these.
Yeah.
So, Kat, you're one of the Santaland singers?
Yeah, I'm huge with the 4 to 6 year olds.
What's your Christmas wish, Kat?
I want to write and sing songs. My dad used to say, if I could dream it, I could be it.
Do you think anybody cares about her stupid songs?
This is an invite.
This is to the Winter Garden Gala. This is the biggest event of the year.
You want some of that hot, sexy Santa.
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
It's that time of year again.
That's my ticket. And that's my dress. Don't, please.
Did you think the Winter Gardens would want you at their gala? You're nothing but a dreamer, just like your father.
It's the perfect plan. I'll just walk you in with the performers, then you head into the party and find Dominic, and we all have ourselves a merry old Christmas.
What are you doing?
I'm losing my grip.
Don't let go.
You were gonna go on for the Snow Queen because the original's unconscious and you made her that way.
Kat?
I can't do this.
Yes, you can. Your dad was right. You dreamed it. Now go be it.
A Cinderella Story Christmas Wish.
Let's welcome Laura Marano and Gregg Sulkin. I mean, they don't need any introducing because you guys are clearly fans, right? I wasn't sure.
Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for having us.
Of course. Thank you guys for being here. And this is so exciting. It's kind of the kickoff to the holiday season. Are you guys excited to be in a holiday movie?
Oh, I mean, yes. So excited. Greg keeps saying it. It's so true. We filmed this in March that we've been looking forward to Christmas since March. So it's been a very long lead of excitement.
Yeah, I've been singing Christmas songs since March. So yes, I'm very excited to see what Santa brings this Christmas, for sure.
Well, what's exciting is you said you've been singing Christmas songs, but some of your songs in this movie, you never know, might hit those charts and you could have a classic on your hands. Is that nerve-wracking?
I mean, we were singing them all month long when we were working, for sure.
Yeah, we believed they were catchy at the time because we literally just continued singing them. But I think, I guess we'll see. I mean, hopefully the movie comes out and people love them and yeah, they become a success.
Yeah, well, of course we know, Laura, Austin, and Allie, you were a singer-songwriter on that show too. And in real life. Is it fun to play a character that kind of, follows a dream that you have yourself, is to be a singer?
Oh, 100%. I definitely feel this is in the same universe as that. Like, I feel like Kat and Allie would be good friends. I'm not sure where our story takes place and where Kat lives. I always felt like East Coast, so like a little bit farther. But as a performer, it's the best thing ever when I get to do a musical. When they kind of approached me with this movie, I was like playing Cinderella as part of like the classic A Cinderella Story franchise. It's a Christmas movie and it's a musical. Like, where do I sign up? Yes, 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 yes.
It sounds so fun. And Greg, does that intimidate you at all, the musical aspect of it, or is it exciting?
Absolutely terrifying. I had no musical background. I had no musical training. So I relied a lot on Laura to kind of walk me through it.
He rocked it. I mean, you rocked it out loud. Because, you don't dance. I remember the first rehearsal that we had, Greg was like, Laura, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm like, you're going to be fine. And you rocked it. You were so good.
I feel like in life, thank you, but I feel like in life, once you commit, you just sort of like embrace it and you just go for it. And although I may have looked funny, or I may have thought I looked funny, at the end of the day, if you just embrace it and commit, you just have a great time. And so I tried to take that mentality into this movie.
Yeah, I was the one who broke something while we were dancing.
Yeah,
You
there was one
rocked
take
it.
where
A body
in my-
part?
well, in my opinion,
Oh, like a snow globe.
yeah, and it was our best take.
Greg's still a little bitter about it. It's fine.
And to this day, it was our best take, and Laura ruined it. And so, if the movie doesn't do great, you know
you know
whose
that
fault it
one
is.
scene. Yes.
Now, what's it like? You had to be Santa in this as well. So you're dancing not only as Greg, but as Santa Greg. It must be difficult.
It was, you know what? It was, to be honest, it was quite cold when we were shooting. And so I couldn't complain too much because Laura was an absolute trooper. Didn't complain once about how cold it was. Meanwhile, I was in a Santa suit, very cozy, very warm.
With a beard.
With a beard. And so I was toasty. But yeah, a little bit awkward. You don't usually see Santa just dancing around. Yeah. But overall, it was a great experience. I had a lot of fun.
It's the musical aspect of it, though. It has to have at least a costume or a Santa suit in there.
Totally.
You're an elf in this for most of the movie.
I mean, as I should be, really. No, but honestly, it's like not just a musical, but it's, we were in this kind of Christmas wonderland, which was so cute. It was like Santa's Village was the first week that we were there, and where kind of our two characters works, as well as Isabella, who plays Isla. And it was just magical. It was like a really magical set to be on. I was kind of sad it wasn't Christmas because it felt like Christmas, and it was like I wanted it so badly to be Christmas.
Yeah, it was a very jolly movie to do. Like truly, like we just felt everyone was Team Christmas, and so yeah, we just sort of like embraced that spirit throughout the crew, throughout the cast, and really had each other's back. So it was nice.
Hashtag Team Christmas all the way, right?
Hashtag Team Christmas.
Now, did you guys know each other before doing this movie? I'm sure you guys. Have you worked together before, actually?
We did a magazine cover photo shoot, which I realize is a longer phrase than I intended it to be. It was a magazine cover photo shoot. Yeah, we did that a few years ago, and it was hectic because I was in the middle of finishing a final essay that had to be due that day.
Laura was basically being the educated one, and I was being the narcissistic one during a photo shoot. And so I just remember being like, "Oh, Laura! she's doing a photo shoot, and she's educating herself and creating a life for herself." So I thought I'd take a leaf out of Laura's book. I wasn't capable, but overall, yeah, it was a pleasure to get to know Laura then, and then to do this movie together was a blast because, you spend 14, 16 hours a day with someone, and Laura's a true professional, and we just had we had a great time. You naturally build chemistry with somebody after spending that long on set with them, and when they're good, and talented and also nice, it's hard not to like someone. So that's sort of,
Greg's.
I'm talking about Laura's
Isabella,
sister, Vanessa.
Yeah, no. So Greg just did a movie with my sister, and so the whole time I was like, "So who's your
your
the
favorite
favorite
sister?
Marano?" And
Now you
Greg's
know.
like, "Vanessa, you're great too, but Vanessa, obviously." I'm like, "Me too, okay."
Now, had you watched Wizards of Waverly Place, and had you watched Austin and Ally before you guys?
I'm a big Austin and Ally fan.
Stop.
I'm a big Laura Marano fan at the end of the day. So yes, anything Laura does from now on, especially, I will be watching. Even The Perfect Date, I watched The Perfect Date simply for Laura, and I'm sure you guys watched The Perfect Date too and loved it. So yes.
Well, I mean, I feel the same way. Greg is just like awesome in every sense of the word. When when I knew he was doing the movie, I was like, just a huge weight had been lifted from my shoulders because I'm like, he's an awesome guy. He has like the best personality. He's talented, and he's just kind of like has that personality where he's like he's up for anything. So I knew you didn't necessarily have like a musical background, but I'm like, but you're gonna kill it because you have the best attitude ever.
Well, thank you. Laura's talking about me, not my brother.
I mean, maybe.
But yeah, I feel like when the movie is centered around, especially Laura, but when it's centered around two people, you really have to have that trust, and you really have to look at someone and be like, okay, we're going to go on this journey. Not every part of it's going to be great, but we have to have each other's backs throughout this process. And thankfully, Laura and I, had that professional respect for each other, personal respect for each other, and then thankfully, a friendship came of that. So, you know, I always say to me the best part of this industry is the friendships I create, and this was a movie that kind of displayed that.
That's so fun. And it's kind of nice too because you know a Cinderella, you know the story of Cinderella, but you get to go in and kind of do a fresh take on it. Was that exciting? Because I know this is kind of a franchise now. We've had Hilary Duff and Selena Gomez take on movies in this franchise. Is it intimidating or exciting to bring your own iteration?
It was definitely exciting. I mean, of course, there's like a level of intimidation. Like, I grew up with the franchise. I mean, the original with Hilary Duff, I was like, it was the best movie ever. And she has the most iconic line of all time where she tells Chad Michael Murray that she's not going to wait for him because waiting for him is like waiting for rain in the drought. I mean, come on. That's
just my teenagehood in a bubble right there. Chad Michael Murray and Hilary Duff.
But there are so many ladies and actresses who have been a part of this franchise. Love Selena, love Lucy, love Sophia. And so I was really excited to be a part of it as well. But yes, kind of we have a bit of a fresh take and we feel like we can kind of stand alone a little bit because it is a Christmas holiday movie, which is really cool. And, you know, story-wise, I like in our movie that our prince is kind of in disguise a little bit too. Like he's having his own, you know, Cinderella-esque disguise moment in our film. And I feel like the big reveal for Kat, the character I play, is when she realizes he's not Santa. Yeah. Shocking. But he's not just kind of this regular. He's Dominic, the rich, good-looking winter garden boy.
I was just happy I didn't have to wear the dress because I know Laura. Not to get too graphic, but I know going to the restroom was a hard.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was just doing life in it.
It's hard being a woman, Greg. It's hard.
I've never been a woman, and I can only imagine. Much respect and admiration for all women, but yes, I could. Yeah, it was a lot. Laura was never late. She was never late. Only when I saw 16 people carry Laura's dress up the stairs when she went to the bar.
I mean, look at it.
It's gorgeous.
It is, but it's like what you guys don't see is I have 4 little people inside the dress when this photo
holding it up.
taken. Yes, literally, just like make it look pretty.
It was where those lights come from, right? They're just
totally. They're from inside. It was really intense. It was a really beautiful dress, but like I knocked over equipment with it. I don't know how. It just happened.
Well, let's talk about too, like the romantic comedy aspect of. You know, you mentioned A Perfect Date. Is this a fun genre to be in? Because we're kind of seeing an evolution of this type of movie, thanks to, you know, streaming TV and just other platforms that allow more people to watch and ingest these kind of genre movies.
Oh, I love rom-coms. Are you kidding me? I'm like, I love rom-coms. The only thing I love more than normal rom-coms are Christmas rom-coms. So doing this film was just a dream come true.
Yeah, and I think that's where, you know, streaming services did incredibly well because there are certain movies that people may not line up and go in their numbers and numbers and numbers to the movie theaters, but people are very happy sitting on their couch and watching certain type of movies.
I am.
And I am too in my sweats. I love it. And so I personally think that I hope that people will be at home and enjoy this, enjoy the, you know, the holiday period. And I feel like this movie ties in perfectly to that sort of like, you know, the jolly season that's about to commence.
Yeah, because this is out on digital today, so you could just get some hot cocoa, invite some friends over.
Sure, Halloween hasn't happened yet, but come on, celebrate Christmas with us. It's fine.
And you're used to streaming too, because Hulu's Runaways. Do we have some Runaways fans? Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Is it interesting for you to kind of have like episode dumps, and then you see people catch up in their own pace at their own time? It's kind of...
Yeah, I think streaming is amazing in the sense that you watch, you know, you can binge a whole season. But that means you've got to wait a whole another year to go and watch the next season. Realistically, especially our show, because it's so action-packed and so CGI heavy. So once we shoot it, once we drop it, then thankfully people like it, and then we get picked up again, and then we shoot it, we write it, we shoot it, and then do the whole process again. It takes a little bit of time. But I do like the idea of just being able to watch a TV show in one day. I think it's great. I think streaming's amazing. I think it's changed the industry in so many positive ways, and I think we're just sort of like lucky to be part of that wave.
Yeah. I mean, we now know that Disney Plus is coming. Do we know if your shows are going to be on there? Because they're bringing back some vintage movies. And
Well, I think we saw Wizards. I saw Wizards was going to be there.
Yeah, Wizards got added to Disney Plus.
I'm not sure about Austin and Ally. I think it's going to be, but it wasn't announced the other day, so I.
You got to call up. You got a number for Disney, right? Just be like, what the heck?
You have to put Austin Ally on. Come on, Mickey Mouse calls us all directly to let us know the good news and bad news. Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be on. I know it's on Hulu right now. So I don't know, but Hulu's also owned by Disney. So
Disney owns everything. It owns Marvel. It owns Hulu. It owns obviously Disney Plus, ABC, Fox. You know,
Keep going. Yeah, keep going.
they own a lot.
But will you guys get a free subscription to Disney Plus, being that you're Disney stars? I mean, I hope so.
I don't think so.
You have free entrance to Disneyland?
That's a whole agency sort of situation. I don't know. Maybe we can get it in the deal.
Disneyland's different than Disney Plus, even though that's a whole other situation, which is glorious.
Yeah, is it fun to kind of team up on this, knowing that you come from a similar background where you are Disney stars? And is that transition been hard or easier to kind of, move on and find new projects and explore and play different characters?
Well, I think, both of us have done projects, especially kind of in the last little bit, that have been pushing the boundaries of the kind of demographic that grew up with us on our Disney Channel show. So I think, for us, I know for me, doing this film was kind of great because it is a family film. So I know I've done some projects in the past year that have been a little bit darker, a little bit edgier. Even The Perfect Dates, I would, if it did have a rating, which it didn't, I'd probably say it's like PG-13. So I love having a film that's also for families, also, younger fans who would have been very young watching me on Austin Alley, who are a little bit older now, can still watch this with their parents, which I think is really nice.
Yeah, and I think the one thing about knowing someone who's come from the channel, or knowing someone that is you're going to work with that's from the channel, I think that realistically they're probably going to be professional. You know they're going to hit their mark. You know that they've been trained, so to speak, extremely well. I think the channel gives you the Disney brand, but the channel specifically, I think it encourages you to push yourself as a professional, and it makes you grow faster as well as an individual. So for me, I would work with many, many people that came from the channel, because I probably know they're prepared, professional, and most likely very fun to work with. And Laura was just that example.
I was going to ask you about, being not trained, but kind of growing up on a channel that you get to explore a little bit, and you're young and you're adventurous. Did you find that it's kind of helped you in your career, and you kind of learned a lot while working with Disney?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I started acting when I was like 5. Mm-hmm. So I kind of have done a range of different types of projects. I think when you're an actor, you realize there's different types of genres, right? So you have dramas on TV, you have dramas on movie, you have comedies on TV, you have multi-camera comedies on TV, you have single-camera comedies on TV, you have comedies and movies. And so there's so many different genres. And so what's important is to know the genre that you're in and how to kind of form your acting around that genre. And so for sure, I love doing sitcoms. I started doing sitcoms when I was, 11. And when doing Austin Alley, it just did feel like so comfortable. And of course, it's a little bit more intense because you're the lead and you're working a little bit more. But it was really kind of fun for me to be in that medium because I knew it so well. And for sure, you grow and you learn. And I think as a performer, you're always going to be hopefully growing and learning, but it was also just really fun. I mean, it was like so incredibly fun, and it was a project that friends and not only did I get a huge fan base and platform from it, but other projects I had done before were a little bit older, and so none of my friends kind of believed I was an actress. Like they're like, "Sure, Laura, you act," except Superbad. Superbad was the one thing where like kids in my grade were like, "Whoa, you're in Superbad? That's cool." But yeah, it was that part for me was also really cool.
Yeah. How about you, Greg? Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I definitely feel very grateful to the Disney brand for employing me over the last 10, 11 years. but I also I was very excited about doing a movie like this because it is sort of like going back to your roots in a way, and sort of like giving back. You also know the franchise has been successful over the past X amount of years, so that's also, you know, an honor to be asked to kind of join and give your best performance in that. And so for me, I don't know. I'm very honored to be part of the Disney brand. If someone says to me for the rest of my life, like, you could go and, like Dwayne Johnson, for example. Dwayne Johnson's doing a Jungle Cruise with Disney. If it's good enough for Dwayne Johnson, it's good enough for me.
I know I read somewhere that you aspire to kind of be similar to him in a way of running your own production company or making sure that you're in films that you're proud of and that kind of push your limit as an actor. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, also as a businessman too.
Yeah.
I massively
And
respect
as a gym goer.
a gym goer, healthy eater goer, you know.
Lots of protein.
Yeah, he's just also like, for me, like how he comes across is extremely humble, very hardworking. And I just think that he's an inspiration to many people who may not have had certain opportunities in their life growing up. And I think he sort of defies all odds, and I massively respect him.
Yeah, he's a movie star for sure.
Yep.
That's exciting, though, in this industry is a lot of actors are kind of starting their own production companies and sort of figuring out what projects they want to take on. Is that exciting for you guys to kind of be growing up in an industry that's changing every year and there's just so many opportunities?
Oh, totally. I mean, we were just having this conversation about producing because we both produced our kind of first film, different films, but in the last kind of couple of years, you know, the film Vanessa and I were in, my mom, my sister, and I produced all together, and so that actually came out a few months ago, which was incredible. And since then, we've been working on kind of our next project together, which is just so exciting. It's really cool to be able to have that power and control behind the camera because it's so creative and so fun and just so much more part of the process than when you're just in front of the camera.
Yeah, I just don't like people telling me what to do. No, I think especially when you're creative and you like creative outlets, I think producing is a great way to do that. I also love collaborating. I don't always believe that I'm right. I like to hear people's opinions. They probably have a better idea than me. And so I like to acknowledge that, understand it, implement it. And so hopefully throughout my career, you'll see a lot more of like, oh, Greg, not just like acting in something, Greg also producing and acting, maybe directing, maybe writing. But yes, having as much creative, I wouldn't say creative control, but creative input is something that I definitely desire because, you know, acting is an incredible, I mean, the entertainment industry is an amazing industry, and acting is just a small part of it. And I think that not enough crew members and not enough people behind the camera get all the credit. Actors always get the credit, but there are many people behind the cameras who are absolute geniuses in what they do and what they're providing to the project. So I would love to sort of take a step behind the camera, gradually, of course. But yeah, I just think it's amazing.
That's a great way to put it. Is like you guys are the faces of these projects, but there's so many people behind the scenes.
It takes a village for sure.
Yeah, we have a dinosaur on Runaways, and I just look, there's a team of 12 people, and they know things that I have no idea about. I'm like, you guys are much smarter than me in this specific sort of topic, you know? And so it does, exactly like you said, it takes a village. And so teamwork, I think, is huge. I played sports when I was younger, and I think that's always stuck with me. And so the film industry is an amazing industry. It requires 100, 150 people, sometimes 10 people if you're on a student film, or sometimes 3 people if you're on a student film. But it requires being humble enough to understand that your opinion may not always be right and always to take in other people's opinions.
Totally. It's funny. It's like sometimes I do get it. I totally understand it. But sometimes it makes me a little frustrated when I hear other actors be like, I can't watch myself on screen. Yeah. I get it. I totally get it. It's weird. It is really weird. But then there's also a level where it's like, yeah, but you're not just watching yourself. Like when I'm watching anything I'm in, I'm like, I'm not just watching myself. I'm watching the work the camera person did, and the DP did, and the lights person, and the sound person, and the hair and makeup
you're
person.
Watching it, like how it looks and the aesthetic.
It's all together. It really just, I mean, that's the awesome bit of it. It's like it takes such a team. You know, that's what strikes me as it's such a difference between music, because it is much harder to do things by yourself in music, but you kind of can. Like you can write and produce and do everything just yourself and put it out, you know, you can't really do that as part of a film and television production. It takes a team. But that's the beauty of it. It's everyone working together. It's everyone, like, you know, the second or third week wanting to kill each other because we've spent 14 and a half hours together and it's really cold and someone fainted. But it's a really beautiful, incredible thing that we actually made this project all together, and it's now out for people to enjoy.
That's so nice. Now everybody has to watch it. More of a reason.
Team effort, you know?
Yes. And before I toss it off to some questions from our audience, and we have a Twitter question, do you guys have your own personal Cinderella story that inspired you during this, your own love story?
Oh, well.
Oh.
What if we had an exact, well, I lost my shoe at a party, and then a prince came up to me.
Part of the world of dating apps and that, to meet somebody and...
Yeah, I mean...
I would say in my own personal relationship, I would say that I do find if things are meant to be, they will be. So, for example, in the current relationship that I have with my lovely girlfriend, I knew of her before I met her, and I sort of manifested the fact that her and I would be in a relationship.
See, it's fate.
So
when Greg says it, it sounds so lovely. But if anyone else said
Sounds
that would have
creepy.
sounded very creepy and very weird. Yeah, no, I think I'm just such a sucker for romance and for rom-coms. And so I think every time I read a story or book or script or whatever that has some sort of romantic aspect in it, I'm just like, I absolutely love it. And so when I read the script, I got all the feels, and I was really excited.
I love it. Well, let's go back to that tweet and
Totally.
read this. If your life was a movie, what would be the soundtrack? Love from Scotland. Hey,
Aw,
Scotland.
Hi, Scotland. Hey. Ooh, if your life was a movie, what would be the soundtrack? I mean, maybe I'm just in the season, but I feel like just purely Christmas music. Yeah, I'm ready for Christmas music, to be honest.
I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. What would be the soundtrack? I would say anything from... wow, now I'm really freaking out.
What do you listen to when you're driving? I feel like that's the
not
soundtrack of your
romantic
life.
music.
That's okay.
That's fine.
If your life, you know, can be more than just.
Oh,
romantic.
I thought you said my dating life was a movie. What
Oh,
would be
no,
the
your life. Just your life.
Oh, gotta
I was
be.
like,
It's got to be Rocky. I just feel like you wake up. In
Okay,
the morning,
wait,
you want to
Rocky-
start your day.
A Rocky.
The famous.
The song.
Yeah, the
I'm,
famous song.
Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
So I feel like.
Soundtrack of Rocky, too.
Well, yeah,
is
but just
great.
repeat that over and over, and you just feel like you're about
Climbing
to
a
take on
ton
the
of
world.
stairs.
Yeah, it's just you're almost there, but you're not. There's still more to achieve.
Yeah.
But you've done okay so far.
Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah,
Man.
exactly that one.
Let's go to some audience questions, shall we? Here we go.
Hi, my name is Isis.
Hey.
My question is, what would be on your character's Netflix queue?
Ooh, great question. First of all, love your hair.
Thank you.
Second of all, for Kat, I think she loves animals, so I think she'd watch a lot of Animal Planet. She'd watch the Puppy Bowl instead of the Super Bowl, because I don't know if you've watched the Puppy Bowl. It's a classic sport event that happens every year. Yeah, any just like adorable dog movie I think would be on her Netflix queue.
I think with Dominic, anything to do with music. So, for example, any music documentary, I find that Dominic would sort of like find inspiring.
Oh, I like it. Who's next?
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Pamela. I'm nervous, so don't mind my shakiness.
So
Love you
am I,
guys, by the
Pamela.
way.
So am I.
So
It's cold in here, too. so.
it's also cold here. So you guys have had a lot of time to get to know each other and, just gain this friendship. So my question is, what was one of your favorite memories that you guys have had on set together?
Aw, that's tough.
I feel like on-set sort of like breeds into offset in the sense that when you spend days with somebody while you're shooting in Canada, you sort of like go and do beautiful things kind of offset too. I know you and Isabella, they went to some beautiful like Brit. What was
The
it?
Brit, yeah,
I wasn't
yeah.
invited.
Okay, that is not true.
Not bitter
that is
about it,
not true.
but,
You
you
were
know.
invited.
Chose your sister.
No,
you know?
you had
Chose
a
Vanessa.
rugby game you were going to.
True.
Okay,
I went to watch my
let's calm
boys,
down.
England, play rugby. So that's it.
And his favorite memory on set is him by himself at a rugby game.
So many friends.
No, I feel like there were so many. I think when we were doing the duet, it was so fun. I mean, we were cold. We were so cold. I just can't stress that enough. But it was really, really fun. Basically, how the duet worked was we had these kind of like different vignettes throughout the song, but each vignette was one shot, so it had to be perfect. That's why the one vignette where I broke a snow globe, we can't use any part of it. It's awkward. It's fine. I do have the footage. It's great. But that whole, we did it in like 2 nights, I want to say, or like one night and then a whole day and night. And that was really fun. I had such a good time doing that. And we were just so cold, but we were like cold together.
Yeah, you know, you can't complain. I definitely couldn't because obviously I was nice and toasty. But I just think when you, one of my favorite days was one of the first days we got to shoot in a beautiful location overlooking a lake. It reminded me of my first day at school a little bit because I was obviously nervous. But I just think also when you hear rap, like, I know that sounds terrible. It sounds like I don't enjoy it. But when you hear rap, there's sort of like this amazing feeling which you think like, wow, we did it. As a team, we did it. What an incredible
I
experience.
definitely thought you meant rap music. And I was
like, where are we going with this one,
incredibly
Greg? Yeah.
confused. Because you were like really like,
now I get it.
well, when you hear rap, you lose yourself in the moment.
Music.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Hi, I'm Yasmin, and my question is, what is one thing you learned from each other?
Ooh.
Wow, it's about to get deep.
I was gonna be funny and be like, "Did you know Greg's English?" No, I guess I learned. Greg's just the best, and Greg I think you have such an awesome skill of really being able to focus in and concentrate while still having fun. But he was just always so on his A game and always so much concerned with like, okay, where are our characters coming from? Like, no matter what, he was giving his all on an acting standpoint, which I appreciate so much and thought was so awesome. We went over lines like the first weekend before we kind of started shooting, or like after a first day of shooting, and you were just so on top of it and so committed, and I really appreciate that. And I didn't know for sure that you were like that, and I was really happy you were like that.
Thank you, Laura. Next question.
Greg.
I think what I learned from Laura actually, so there was, I mean, this was one example, but there were, we have BTS camera crew that come around and shoot, and at the time, Laura was sort of like getting changed, and I remember Laura being very polite about it, but just being like, thank you, but please don't film me right now. And I just remember thinking like, wow, like Laura is a girl that stands up for herself. She's very polite.
I like that you use that story
well,
as...
because it's like, I feel like a lot of young actresses would have been like, oh my God, like, I'm on set, I don't want to say anything, I don't want to be, I don't want to be a problem, but at the same time, like, no, like, don't film someone when they're sort of getting changed. Not in like, I don't think he was intentionally doing it, but I was just saying that you sort of like stood up for yourself, and as a young woman, I thought a lot of young women can sort of like take a leaf out of Laura's book in the sense that, stand up for yourself, don't be afraid to speak, and protect yourselves. So
I'm really happy you say that, because I feel like I sometimes struggle with that, so I appreciate that.
And you can be, what I learned from Laura was in the fact that she was she wasn't rude at all, she was just polite, but quite firm. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that, so I thought that was really cool.
Be able to do that. I like that. That
Yeah,
was a great
of course.
example there.
Thank
Nice and
you.
deep.
Thank you.
I think we have time for one more, right?
I like your hair.
I know, your
Everybody's
hair is
really
awesome too. Everyone
styling in here.
My name is Darla, and my question was, since this is your first project working together, how do you think that your relationship grew because of this movie?
We'll never work again together.
After
Ever.
today, we're never going to talk to each other again. No. Honestly, I would love to do another project with Greg. I think it was so fun working together. I feel like we now know each other more. Like, we knew each other, and we knew kind of even more than each other. We knew more. I mean, we knew each other, but we kind of knew more of each other. But now I feel like I really consider Greg my friend, and I want a double date.
We need a perfect date too, or perhaps Christmas wish too. You know, this has been a really cute interview. You guys seem like you're very good friends and you have great chemistry on screen. This movie's really cute. You guys are all going to love it. It's out on digital now, and then it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray, I think October 25th, so check it out. And thank you both for being here. This was really fun.
Thank you, guys.